During World War II, thousands of Allied soldiers were captured and placed inside heavily guarded German prison camps. One of the most famous of these camps was Stalag Luft III, a high-security prison camp designed specifically to hold Allied Air Force officers. The camp was built with strict security measures to prevent prisoners from escaping. Watchtowers surrounded the camp, guards patrolled the fences, and the ground beneath the camp was made of soft sand that made tunneling extremely difficult. Despite these obstacles, a group of determined prisoners secretly began planning one of the most daring escape attempts in World War II. Their mission would later become known as the Great Escape. Inside Stalag Luft III, many prisoners refused to accept their fate. Among them were experienced pilots and officers who began secretly organizing escape attempts. A British officer named Roger Bushell became the leader of the escape operation. His plan was extremely ambitious. Instead of digging just one tunnel, the prisoners decided to secretly build 3 tunnels at the same time. These tunnels were given code names Tom, Dick, and Harry. The idea was that if one tunnel was discovered by guards, the others might still remain hidden. The prisoners began working day and night, quietly digging beneath the camp. Digging tunnels beneath the prison camp was extremely dangerous. The prisoners had very limited tools and had to work quietly to avoid alerting the guards. They used small tools, spoons, and pieces of metal to dig through the sandy soil. Removing the sand from the tunnels was also a challenge. To solve this problem, prisoners secretly spread the sand across the camp yard while walking around during daily routines. Over time, the tunnels became longer and more advanced. They even installed small lighting systems and ventilation pipes inside the tunnels. Slowly, the prisoners moved closer to their goal of escaping the camp. After months of secret work, the prisoners finally prepared to carry out their daring escape. The night chosen for the operation was March 24, 1944. Under the cover of darkness, prisoners quietly gathered inside the barracks near the tunnel entrance. The tunnel known as Harry was the only one that remained undiscovered by German guards. One by one, prisoners began crawling through the narrow underground passage. The tunnel stretched for more than 100 meters, leading outside the prison camp fences. The plan was for hundreds of prisoners to escape and disappear into the surrounding countryside before the guards realized what had happened. As the escape continued, prisoners slowly emerged from the tunnel outside the camp. The cold night air surrounded them as they stepped into freedom. Many of the escapees had prepared fake documents, civilian clothing, and maps to help them travel across Germany without being recognized. Their goal was to reach neutral countries such as Switzerland or Sweden. However, the escape process was slow. Each prisoner had to crawl through the long tunnel one at a time. Hours passed as the operation continued quietly under the cover of darkness. The escape continued for several hours until an unexpected problem occurred. The tunnel exit had been dug slightly shorter than planned and did not reach the cover of nearby trees. Because of this mistake, escaping prisoners had to run across open ground before reaching the forest. Eventually, a German guard noticed suspicious movement outside the camp. The alarm was quickly raised. Searchlights lit up the camp and guards rushed to investigate the tunnel. By the time the escape was discovered, 76 prisoners had already escaped from the camp. Once the German guards discovered the escape, a massive search operation began across the surrounding regions. Thousands of German soldiers, police officers, and patrol units were sent to capture the escaped prisoners. Roadblocks were set up on highways and railway stations were heavily guarded. German authorities searched forests, villages, and cities for the fugitives. Many prisoners tried to travel long distances using trains or disguises. Some attempted to reach neutral countries where they could be safe. However, the search operation was enormous and extremely difficult to evade. Slowly, many of the escaped prisoners were captured again. Although 76 prisoners managed to escape the camp, only a few were able to successfully reach freedom. Most of the escapees were captured by German forces within days of the escape. In a tragic decision, Nazi authorities ordered severe punishment for many of the captured prisoners. 50 of the captured escapees were executed by German forces. This shocking act caused outrage among Allied nations and later became a war crime investigation after the war ended. Despite the tragic outcome, the escape attempt became one of the most daring acts of resistance during World War II. The Great Escape became one of the most famous prison escape stories of World War II. The prisoners involved showed incredible courage, teamwork, and determination. Despite living under strict security and constant surveillance, they managed to build complex tunnels and organize a massive escape plan. Their efforts demonstrated the determination of Allied soldiers to resist captivity. After the war, the story of the Great Escape became widely known around the world. Books, documentaries, and films were later created about the daring escape from Stalag Luft III. Even today, the story remains one of the most remarkable events of World War II.